You can train your back every week, pile on rows and pull-downs, and still look narrow from the front and flat from the side. That usually does not happen because you are lazy. It happens because too many back workouts repeat the same pattern over and over. You use 3 machines that all pull in nearly the same direction. Fatigue your arms before your back, and save the hardest movement for the end when your grip and posture are already gone. A bigger back needs more than one kind of pull. You need thickness through the middle. You need width through the lats. You need each side working evenly. And you need the upper back and rear shoulders to create that dense, complete look from every angle. These 5 exercises cover all of it. The order matters too. We are starting with the movement that demands the most stability, then moving into a vertical pull for width. After that, the cables will let you target each side with more control before finishing the upper back with a movement most people barely take seriously. Do this correctly, and every exercise will have a different job, instead of simply adding more fatigue. Exercise 1. Overhand Barbell Row. The overhand barbell row belongs at the beginning of the workout. It is the most demanding movement on this list because your back is not the only thing working. Your grip has to hold the bar. Your core has to brace. Your glutes and hamstrings help maintain the hip position. And your lower back has to keep your torso steady while your upper back produces force. That is why saving it for the end is usually a mistake. By then, your hands are tired, your posture is weaker, and every repetition becomes more upright than the one before it. You may still move the bar, but the exercise slowly turns into a shrug, a hip swing, and a partial row all at once. Done early, the barbell row is one of the best movements for building overall back thickness. Your lats help drive the elbows behind you. Your rhomboids and middle traps pull the shoulder blades together. Your rear delts assist near the top, while the muscles around your spine keep the entire position locked in place. But none of that matters if the bar is moving only because you are throwing your torso upward. Stand with your feet around hip-width apart and grip the bar slightly wider than shoulder width, palms facing behind you. Lift the bar into position, then push your hips backward as though you were closing a car door with them. Allow your knees to bend slightly and lean your torso forward. You do not need to become perfectly parallel to the floor. A moderate forward angle works well for most people. What matters is that you choose an angle you can maintain. That position should not change every time the bar gets heavier. Brace your core and let the bar hang beneath your shoulders. From there, pull the bar toward your upper abdomen. Do not think about lifting the bar with your hands. Think about driving your elbows behind your body. That cue usually helps the back take over, while the hands simply hold the weight. As the bar approaches your torso, bring your shoulder blades together without forcing your chest upward or aggressively throwing your shoulders back. The repetition is finished when your elbows reach the side of your body or move slightly behind it. You do not need to slam the bar into your stomach. Then lower it slowly until your arms are extended again. Allow the shoulder blades to move forward naturally, but do not let the entire upper body collapse. The lowering phase should take roughly 2 or 3 seconds. That controlled descent keeps the back under tension and prevents the exercise from becoming a series of rushed pulls followed by uncontrolled drops. The biggest mistake is loading the bar beyond what your torso can support. When that happens, the hips begin driving every repetition. Your chest rises, your lower back takes over, and the bar moves only because your whole body is creating momentum. If you mainly feel the movement in your lower back, first look at the weight and your torso angle. Reduce the load and stay slightly more inclined. You should feel your lower back working to hold the position, but it should not feel like the only area doing anything. Another common mistake is pulling the bar too high. Trying to reach the chest often forces the elbows to flare and makes the movement harder to control. Pulling toward the upper abdomen usually gives you a stronger, more natural path. Use 3 to 4 sets of 6 to 10 repetitions. Rest for about 2 minutes between sets. This is not the exercise where you want to rush your rest just to make the workout feel harder. The goal is to produce strong repetitions with a stable torso. Choose a load that becomes challenging near the end of the set without changing the exercise completely. When you can reach the top of the repetition range on every set with the same body position, add a small amount of weight. Do not chase a heavier bar if it means turning the final 5 repetitions into a standing row. Progress only counts when the back continues doing the work. This first movement gives you the foundation: thickness, total body stability, and heavy horizontal pulling. But thickness alone will not create the wide shape most people want. Now we are changing the direction of the resistance and targeting the lats from above. Before we move on, subscribe to the channel, leave a like, and turn on notifications. That way, you will not miss more practical training videos like this, and you will help this information reach more people. Exercise 2. V-bar lat pull-down. The V-bar lat pull-down gives you a close, neutral grip that is usually comfortable on the wrists, elbows, and shoulders. It also makes it easier to keep the elbows closer to your sides, which can help you focus on the lats. Those are the muscles that run down the sides of your back and create most of the width people notice from the front. But there is one mistake that can make this exercise almost identical to the row you just performed: leaning too far backward. If your torso moves back dramatically and the handle finishes near your stomach, you are no longer performing a clean vertical pull. You are turning it into another row. The purpose here is different. Sit at the pull-down station and adjust the thigh pad so your legs remain firmly in place. Hold the V-bar and allow your arms to extend overhead. Let your shoulder blades rise slightly so you feel a comfortable stretch through the sides of your back. Do not let the weight violently pull you upward, but do not stop the range too early either. Before bending your elbows, think about pulling your shoulders away from your ears. This helps begin the movement with the back instead of immediately curling the handle downward with your arms. Then drive your elbows toward the floor. Keep them close to the body and bring the handle toward the upper chest. Your torso can lean back slightly, but that angle should remain small and consistent. Do not lean farther with every repetition. At the bottom, keep your chest open and avoid pushing your head forward just to make the handle touch your body. The repetition ends when your lats are fully contracted and your posture is still strong. Touching the chest is not mandatory. Then let the handle rise slowly. Extend your arms and allow the lats to lengthen without losing control. Many people cut this portion short because the weight is too heavy. They perform only the middle of the movement, never reach a real stretch, and then wonder why their lats barely respond. Using slightly less weight through a longer controlled range is often more productive than forcing a heavy stack through partial repetitions. Also, pay attention to your grip. Hold the handle securely, but do not crush it as hard as possible. If your forearms are burning long before your back, you may be squeezing too aggressively or thinking too much about pulling with your hands. Imagine that your hands are hooks and your elbows are doing the pulling. Perform 3 sets of 8 to 12 repetitions. Rest between 75 and 90 seconds. Control the upward portion even when the final repetitions become difficult. Once you can complete 12 clean repetitions without leaning farther back or shortening the range, increase the load slightly. At this point, you have covered 2 major qualities. The barbell row added thickness. The V-bar pull-down targeted width. But bilateral exercises can hide an imbalance. Your stronger side can quietly do more work, while the weaker side simply follows along. The next movement removes that advantage. Exercise 3. Single arm seated cable row. The single arm seated cable row lets you train one side at a time. That makes it easier to notice differences in strength, range of motion, and control between your left and right sides. It also gives you more freedom to adjust the path of the elbow and find the position where your lat works best. Sit in front of a low cable and attach a single handle. Place your feet firmly on the platform, keep your knees slightly bent, and hold your torso upright. Grab the handle with one hand and allow the arm to extend in front of you. At the beginning of the repetition, let the shoulder blade move forward slightly. This should be a controlled reach, not a full rotation of your entire torso. Your chest should continue facing forward. Begin the pull by bringing the shoulder back and slightly down. Then, drive your elbow toward your hip. Keep the elbow fairly close to your body. That path usually places more emphasis on the lat than a wide, flared elbow row. Pull until the elbow reaches the side of your torso. Pause briefly and squeeze the side of your back. Do not continue dragging the elbow far behind you just to create a longer-looking repetition. Once the elbow moves too far back, many people begin rotating their torso and losing tension in the target area. Then extend the arm slowly. Let the shoulder blade move forward again under control. That forward reach is useful because it gives the lat room to lengthen before the next pull. The biggest mistake is turning the exercise into a twisting movement. You pull the handle, rotate the entire body, and then swing forward again. That may help you move more weight, but it removes much of the precision that makes the unilateral row valuable. Keep your sternum facing the machine. A small amount of natural movement is fine, but the torso should not be powering the repetition. Another common mistake is shrugging the shoulder upward. When the shoulder rises toward the ear, the upper traps begin taking over. Think about keeping the shoulder low while the elbow travels backward. Start with your weaker side, or the side you have more trouble feeling. Complete the set, then match the same number of repetitions with your stronger side. Do not add a large number of extra repetitions to the weaker arm. Letting that side determine the volume is usually enough when you stay consistent for several weeks. Perform 3 sets of 10 to 15 repetitions per arm. Rest, around 30 to 45 seconds when switching sides, then about 1 minute before repeating the full round. Use a load that allows you to pause briefly at the end of every pull. If you must jerk the handle to reach your body, the weight is too heavy. A useful cue is to stop thinking about your hand. Imagine the handle is attached directly to your elbow. Your job is to drive that elbow toward your back pocket. That often improves the path immediately and helps keep the shoulder from rising. The single arm row gives you precision and helps even out both sides. But now, we need to change the elbow position. Keeping the elbow close is excellent for the lats. Opening it wider shifts more work toward the muscles that create density across the upper and middle back. Exercise 4. Wide Grip Seated Cable Row. The wide grip seated cable row targets the back differently from the movement you just performed. Instead of keeping the elbows close, you will guide them farther away from the body. That increases the involvement of the rhomboids, middle traps, and rear delts. These muscles fill the space between the shoulder blades and give the upper back more depth. Attach a straight bar or wide handle to the low cable. Hold it with an overhand grip, hands wider than shoulder width. Sit tall with your feet planted, knees slightly bent, and chest open. Begin with your arms extended. Allow the shoulder blades to move forward slightly while keeping your spine stable. Do not exaggerate the reach by rounding your entire back and throwing your shoulders toward the machine. The motion should come from the shoulder blades, not from collapsing your posture. Pull the handle toward your upper abdomen or lower chest. Drive your elbows backward and slightly outward. Because the elbows are wider, the path will feel different from a close grip row. At the end, bring the shoulder blades together without shrugging. Pause for roughly 1 second. Then extend your arms slowly and allow the upper back to lengthen again. Keep your torso angle almost unchanged. The most common mistake is rocking backward during the pull and then falling forward during the return. That creates a large amount of movement, but much of it comes from the hips and spine instead of the muscles between the shoulder blades. A small, natural lean is fine. A full-body swing is not. Another mistake is pulling the handle too low. With a wide grip, forcing the bar toward the belly button can bend the wrists and pull the elbows out of their strongest path. Aim higher, around the upper abdomen. Do not expect to use the same amount of weight you would use with a close neutral grip. The wider arm position gives you less mechanical advantage. That is normal. The goal is not to impress yourself with the stack. The goal is to feel the middle of your back contract. Perform 3 sets of 10 to 15 repetitions. Rest about 75 seconds. On the last repetition of each set, hold the squeezed position for 2 or 3 seconds. If your shoulders rise, your chest collapses, or your torso starts swinging, the set is over. Do not keep collecting sloppy repetitions simply because you have not reached the number written in your plan. After 4 exercises, your lats and middle back have already done a lot of work. But a complete back also needs detail near the shoulders. That is where the final movement comes in. Exercise 5. Face pull. The face pull is often treated like a light warm-up exercise. People grab the rope, move it toward their face for a few quick repetitions, and barely think about what the upper back is doing. But when it is performed with control, the face pull can train the rear delts, traps, and the smaller muscles that help control the shoulder blades. Those areas make the upper back look more complete and help connect the back visually to the shoulders. Set the pulley around face height or slightly above it. Attach a rope and hold one end in each hand. Step backward until the cable stays under tension. Plant your feet, bend your knees slightly, and brace your core. Begin with your arms extended and your shoulders in a neutral position. Pull the rope toward your face while separating your hands. By the end of the repetition, the ends of the rope should move toward the sides of your head. Keep the elbows high, but do not shrug your shoulders toward your ears. Think about pulling the center of the rope toward your nose while driving your hands apart and slightly backward. That combination is what makes the face pull different from another basic row. Pause briefly in the final position. You should feel the muscles behind the shoulders and across the upper back. Then extend your arms slowly without letting the cable pull your entire body forward. The most common mistake is using too much weight. Once the stack becomes too heavy, people lean far backward, pull the rope toward the chest, and remove the outward rotation that gives the movement its purpose. Use less weight and own the finish. Another mistake is allowing the wrists to bend. Keep them aligned with your forearms throughout the pull. If the hands collapse inward or the wrists fold backward, reduce the load. Perform 2 to 3 sets of 12 to 20 repetitions. Rest for about 1 minute. Because this is the final movement, slightly higher repetitions work well. But higher repetitions do not mean rushing. Every repetition should finish with a clear contraction. Once you can no longer separate the rope or maintain the final position, the set is done. This workout works because every exercise has a separate role. The overhand barbell row builds overall thickness while your body is still fresh. The V-bar pull-down targets the lats through a vertical pulling pattern and helps create width. The single-arm cable row allows you to train each side independently and improve your connection with the lats. The wide grip cable row shifts the focus toward the middle and upper back, building more depth between the shoulder blades. And the face pull finishes the session by training the rear delts, traps, and shoulder blade control. You can perform this workout once or twice per week. If you train your back once weekly, use the full number of sets described. If you train it twice, reduce the volume in each session. 3 sets on the larger movements and 2 sets on the final exercises will usually be enough. You do not need to reach complete failure on every set. On the heavy barbell row, stop when you feel you could complete only 1 or 2 more clean repetitions. On the cable exercises, you can move closer to failure as long as your posture and range of motion stay consistent. Write down your weights and repetitions. During the next workout, improve one small detail. Add 1 repetition. Slow down the lowering phase. Hold the contraction more clearly. Or increase the load by the smallest available amount. You do not need a new workout every week. A bigger back comes from repeating productive exercises, improving the quality of your repetitions, and gradually doing more work over time. Which of these 5 exercises do you feel most clearly in your back? Let me know in the comments. Share this video with someone who performs endless pull-downs but still feels everything in their arms. And subscribe with notifications turned on for more straightforward workouts you can actually use.